So this is just to demonstrate that the pedal solo unit is in full working order. We're going to cycle through all of the different presets in the pedal switching. Okay, here we go.
We start with 16.
Okay.
That's the 16. This is the 8. Four. Two and one foot. 32 Bourdon. Bombard. That's everything there.
All right. Fantastic. Okay. So we're going to go through somewhat quickly how you will remove everything to, or how we will remove everything from this to send it to you, but also how you will put it back in. So probably what you'll be doing will be the reverse of what we show you right here. So we'll start with the things on the top of the keyboard. We're going to have to raise this upper keyboard up a little bit to get this unit out of here. And in order to do that, you have to take off this music rack here, which is 4 screws. There's one here, there's one behind here, they're already loose, and there are 2 here. So we'll pull these out. They're already unscrewed in our case. And these over here are unscrewed. And we'll lift this, move it a little bit forward, and there will be some wires there, so don't let them get pulled too hard. And just set it up there like that. Then we'll have to remove the 2 very large screws at either end of the black escutcheon at the top of your upper manual. And we've already got these out a little bit, but they're very long. Those will come out like that. Then you will have to remove the 2 bolts that hold this in from the bottom. These are on the back of the keyboard, on the back of the organ, underneath. You might not be able to see it from here, but we'll get a cutaway shot for you. But they're down under here. They're quite large and very long. They look like that. But there's one on each side here and at the other end. Okay? That enables you to lift up the upper manual. Also, we have to remove the cheek block screws from this. Is it both screws or just one?
Two.
So there are 2 screws, and they're right under the left end of this, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Or is there one on the right end as well?
It's pretty much on the left end.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there are 2 screws right under here. These will have to come out. I can show you one of them if I can get it out of there. No, I can't get it out of there. I'll pick it up a little bit.
This one here.
Okay. All right, these are all flatheads. So at that point, we're able to lift this up a little bit. All right, and then we can pull this out. So you're going to do this in reverse. So you'll have to get those 2 lower bolts. This cheek block screw may or may not be there since you don't have this unit in already, but you would be putting the unit in from the back, leaving the cables over there. Okay? So I can put that back down.
Your fingers.
Yep. All right. So in the back now, you might want to come around here. We have we've labeled up all of the connections that you're going to make. From this unit that we just took out with the switching, you have a few different cables, and some of them are loomed together. So you have this black and green wire, which runs along the back here and ends up here on the left lower manual preset rails. I've labeled it preset rail 0 and preset rail 3. These rails are normally numbered from 0 to 9, I believe. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah. So it's 0 and 3. So the bottom one and the 4th from the bottom. All right. That goes over there. This very large loom goes to this big plug, which is on your main control unit. And then you also have this one, which goes to the main control unit, and it's an RCA or a phono plug. Looks like you would normally have on 12-volt stereo. Okay, those plug into the main unit. Then you have another pair on the main unit that is on the loom that goes with your coil pack. This is labeled main unit. It's black and green, and they are labeled as well on the actual unit itself. They're engraved there. It says black and green, so you can't mix those up. The other wiring connections are for this coil rail to go to your pedal clavier. And there are, I believe, 34 wires here. It's in 3 sections. One section is labeled 1 on the left. The second section is labeled number 2. The third section is labeled number 3. So from left to right, they're 1, 2, 3. They're loomed in pairs, so it won't be hard to keep it all straight. However, there is one wire that is in the middle of all this that is coming from your switching unit. It comes down here. I've labeled it pedal post number 9. And that one goes to the 9th post that you see down here. There are a bunch of posts. They're in pairs. This one's number 9. Number 10 is from loom number 1. It'll be pretty obvious when you go to put it together. So those are your main connections. As far as getting the rest of this stuff in your case, this bracket will be coming with you. It just has a couple of screws on here and over here. This piece, it has a few screws that lock it in to the bracket itself. And this piece, the coil pack, there are just 2 screws, one here and one here. You can reach them from underneath. They are flatheads. So we're going to go ahead and take all this stuff out, and maybe we'll shoot a few more pictures just to show you what you're going to be looking at when you get started, okay? That's it.
One quick thing
Oh, yeah?
before we finish. For safety precautions, please unplug the organ first. And
Oh, yeah.
we also have an AC that's coming from the actual main amp there.
Yeah, that was one connection I forgot to mention. So you have power going to your main unit that has to be hooked up to the preamp of the RT, and I've labeled that RT preamp. And it's going to be the left 2 terminals on the preamp. So we'll show you all that after we get this undone, and hopefully it'll be no problem. Okay, this is just a little addendum to the video we made earlier to show you what it looks like once we have everything out, so it will look familiar to you because yours has nothing in it. So you can see down here, you're looking at the back of your pedal clavier where all your pedals would be pressing. We have all these posts here. There are 34 posts that all have to be soldered. Actually, save one. There will be one that has nothing on it, and I'll tell you about that in a second. So probably the first thing you'll do will be to put this bracket in. This bracket has 2 screws here for this end of the main unit. Also, we'll provide you, I have all the screws here, 2 screws, wood screws, go in here, and it goes right up here. You should have holes already drilled in this, but the bottom of it, if you don't see the holes or they're not drilled for some reason, this should be level with this piece over here. There are 2 holes in here that you will use these other 2 wood screws to go in there to hold down the left side of this. Okay, simple enough. Here we have the switching unit. You're going to put this in from the back, so you'll be going in this way with it. You have all these wires here that we showed you earlier. One that we didn't mention that you will have to hook up is quite obvious. It's a very large connector that goes, it only goes one way into the main unit there. So just be careful and make sure you get it in the right way. Other than that, we have the coil box here. Now this will go down on the, this will go down on the bottom here in this position. You have 2 legs here that will screw into this hole. Well, there's a screw and a nut. So you'll take the nut off of here and here, put this up there, put your screws in from this side and the nuts on the back side. Just in case you already have screws in here, go ahead and take them out. This one's pretty much right in the center, and this one is the first one beyond your L bracket there. We have the 3 looms on this that we pointed out. This is number 1, as it's labeled. It goes all the way to the left. This is number 2. It faces kind of to the right there. It's in the middle. And this is number 3, which will come around like this. So you might also note these are in pairs. You can see the way the wires are kind of grouped into pairings. So make sure each pair is for a pair of posts. Now there is one I mentioned earlier. It's number 17 if you count from the left. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 17. This post right here, right in the center, will have no wire on it. And there is a wire from your switching unit that we mentioned earlier that has a label here. It says pedal post 9. So it'll be on number 9 over here. Which this loom, you can see things are in pairs except for this one right here. This is the rightmost one on, this is number 10 would be. And as I mentioned, number 17 will be left empty. And so here where you have a single wire, it goes on the right post, number 18. All right, I think that's it. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to call us here at Keyboard Exchange. And good luck.